Lights, camera, action. In the small Middle Tennessee town of Lewisburg, those three Hollywood words seem a little bit out of place. However, a look at the city square shows why those theatrical words are actually close to home. Zoom in on the Dixie Theatre. Currently celebrating its 100th anniversary, the Dixie is a rich part of Lewisburg's history. It was built as a silent film theater in 1913, serving as the place to be on a Friday night, where you could watch classic oldies and get some popcorn and Coca-Cola for 50 cents. However, the movie theater closed in 1985. For 9 years, it remained on the town square with no purpose. Enter from stage left members of the Marshall County Community Theater, or MCCT. The MCCT was chartered in 1983 for the purpose of furthering theater appreciation and talent in Marshall County. Members of the MCCT board and local amateur actors spent 11 years producing and acting out plays and musicals without an official theater building of their own. They used the local high school, courthouse, restaurants, and churches to perform at. Ferris Phillips was one of those board members. She's played a part at the MCCT on and off stage since its beginning. As she looked over old photos and reflected on the Dixie's journey, she remembers what led them there.
So the people knew we were homeless, and they wanted us to have a home. And isn't it amazing how just the theater was here?
Finally, in 1994, the board members purchased the Dixie as their official venue. Theater in Lewisburg had finally found its home. Of course, there were certainly challenges to purchasing and renovating a movie theater. The first was obvious: money.
We started having fundraisers, silent auctions, dinner theaters, anything we could to raise money to pay for the building itself. And then we felt like we had to raise enough money to start the renovation. So we went to people in the community and asked them if they believed in us enough, what could they afford to give us?
Between fixing the stage, ceiling, curtains, there was much to be done, but the community was supportive.
That's how things have happened for us. People have said, I can do that for you, or I'll help you do that, and they have.
Finally, after all was in place, the MCCT board members held the ribbon-cutting ceremony in the summer of 1995. In July was the opening night of the Dixie's first production, a musical medley called Broadway at the Dixie. So the dreams of Marshall County's own community theater had come true. So what was the exact product? A full-size stage with auditorium seating for almost 300. Lights, sound, balcony seating, an orchestra pit, curtains. This theater now had it all. Sitting in the audience, it's a great view. But the view from the stage, it's pretty great too. The initial building fostered only 2 dressing rooms and an attic costume closet. With generous donations in recent years, however, the Dixie's backstage has been added onto, with much more space and many more amenities. Take a look behind that red curtain and you'll find endless props and costumes that take you back over a decade of productions. And those productions and the people who participate in them are the heart of the Dixie Theatre. Since opening in that 1995 summer, more than 75 plays and musicals have graced that stage, not to mention the other concerts, recitals, and events that use the theater as a venue. Posters and programs of former shows line the walls of the theater and the lobby, showing off titles of Broadway productions rather than Hollywood movies. The Dixie's productions are typically produced, directed, and performed by locals. There are shows for children, teenagers, and adults, meaning the entire Lewisburg community can come together to perform or just to watch. 50 years ago, citizens lined up on the sidewalks to watch the movie blockbusters at the Dixie. These days, they're sure to get their tickets, but instead, for their own little piece of Broadway. The presence of MCCT is felt by everyone in the community. Phillips is hopeful for the theater's future and believes those lights can keep going up for years to come.
So I think that as long as we have young people coming behind us who want to love this aspect of entertainment, then I think we'll still be here for a long, long time.